Hello, how are you doing? I wanted to continue our conversation today about belonging. This is a theme that we've got going for the whole of July. Now, I don't know whether you've read the article that I posted up yesterday, Jenny posted up yesterday to give you the heads up on what we're talking about. Belonging, what does that mean to you? How does it, what's the picture you have in your head? And also, what about the feels in your body? How does it feel to you when you think of the word belonging? What's the energy behind it? And actually, why is it important? Well, give you some context here. We all need to belong. It's part of our DNA, literally. And if you do not have a consistent caregiver in the first year of your life, somebody you belong to, then there's a growing body of evidence that that trauma in the first year is very much harder to work through and impact your mental health all the way through your life. So that sense of connection, that sense of belonging is embedded in us. It's part of who we are. So along with that, we have this sense of belonging to other people in the first year of life. In order to thrive, it's your mother, particularly if you were breastfed, or it can be dad, plug in the bottle. Either way, there's that need for consistent caregiving, that consistent bond. Some of you will remember the Romanian orphanages back in the 80s and 90s. Those children developed institutional autism because they didn't have a consistent caregiver. Now, what's this all got to do with being a speaker? Okay, good question. I'm giving you the context of why it's important as a fundamental human need to belong. But what does that mean? Where do we belong? Who do we belong to? What does that mean for you? Let me share with you my recent reflections on belonging. Many of you will know that I've migrated. Accent kind of gives away that I'm not a native Australian. So having migrated actually twice in my life, there's that potential for, where do I belong? Where do I belong? Where are my roots? Because when I went to Scotland, I felt as though I had gone home. I felt as though I belonged there. When I migrated to Australia, it was a bit of a different feel, but I still feel as though I belong here. So there's that connection thing. And very often, if you have migrated, there's a sense of disconnect. Where do I belong? And that's actually the topic for one of our speakers this afternoon on Your Words Have Power. Shameless plug. Where do I belong? Then there's the concept of who do I belong with? We've already mentioned how connection with other people is a fundamental need for a baby. If we are to thrive, and there is a medical term called failure to thrive in children under the age of 1 particularly, if all their basic needs are not met. So thriving is what is dependent upon that connection with other people. You know, no man is an island. But then how do we navigate bereavement, loss? My father passed away last August. We're coming up for his anniversary. And he was the 7th of my grief journeys, as I've lost my husband and all his family, both my parents and my bestest friend from school. Particularly tough to handle the last two because I'm here in Australia, Mum and Dad were in the UK. Who do I belong to? That's another question that got me thinking, because when you get to a certain age, there are more goodbyes than there are hellos in life. And your sense of connection with other people can reduce over time unless you seek out new connections. But I also got thinking about, well, do I belong to me? And with the help of my coach, we were looking at the different stages in my life where there have been disconnect, where there's been that sense of not belonging. Many of you will know my story of being a 2-year-old and feeling abandoned in hospital. Some of you can relate to the 8-year-old who was always picked last for team games because the rest of the school knew she was so good with eye-hand coordination. I felt left out. I felt left behind. Then there was the teenager who got rejected twice to go to university to do speech therapy, which is what I knew was on my heart. That was my reason. I felt rejected. There was the young woman who was told children were not an option. I felt rejected as being a mother. And the still young woman who came home to find her husband dead in the chair and discovered that at 42 she was a widow. I was disconnected. All of those times in my life have been hard stops. And there's that feeling of disconnection with other people. So I went back and looked through those times in my life and nurtured that younger me so that I could feel that all of my younger me's were together and belonging to me as I am now, with all the wisdom that I've gained along the way. So belonging can go in two directions, is what I would offer. If you're facing a life situation where you don't feel as though you belong to anyone out there, check in with yourself in here. Do you feel as though you belong to you? What's this got to do with being a speaker? Good question. Well, the thing is, that sense of connection, that sense of belonging, as I've said to you, is fundamental to everyone. We all need to feel as though we belong to something outside as well as inside. So you as a speaker have the role of creating a community. Now, some people might think, well, that's a bit of an ego trip, isn't it? You've got so many thousands of followers on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever. That's nothing but a big ego trip. Well, you could look at it that way. Or you could think about it from the perspective of, I have a really important message to share, and I'm serving my community by doing so. Now, this community, Courageous Influential Speakers, attracts people who have a powerful message to share. So by not getting your message out there, by not creating your community, you are denying those people who need to hear it. So go back to that thought again. Is developing a community, is embracing and growing your community an ego trip? Or is it one of service? Your words have power, remember? Your words have power, remember? So think about it. How are you viewing it? What's the word? What are the words you're saying to yourself? Is building my community an ego trip, or is building my community service? So that's why, as speakers, we build a community, a sense of belonging. With that in mind, think about who is your ideal audience. Have you created somewhere they can collect, they can congregate, they can connect with you and each other? Because it's not just a one-way thing, oh, it's all about me. it's about the community as well. Next week, we're going to develop this a little further into how we create that community. But I wanted to let you think about, give this for your mental think tank. Pop it in there and let it percolate. Are you growing a community? And if so, is it coming from ego or service? I suspect it's service. As I said, this group collects, attracts, invites people with a message of service, a message of importance, a powerful message. Let me know what you think about this. Belonging in here to yourself, so that you then can be a strong, congruent person to belong and invite other people to belong to you, building your community. Oh, and by the way, if you have a TEDx in your sights, that's one of the things they look for. Do you have a ready-made community that you can market your presentation to? That's why it's important. Build your community. Belonging. See you later. Bye from me.